Hi, everybody. I'm John Kanary, and welcome to a unique little program that I'm going to put together for many of you people, especially my friends, and of course, many of my clients. A number of years ago, I put together a little program outside of Born Rich. Born Rich, which is a program I've been doing for a long time with Bob Proctor. And what I did is I took a bit of that program, a part of it, and I kind of captured it to put into a program called Breaking Through Limitations. And what I'm going to share with you all now is breaking through limitations. But I'm going to do it in this way. I'm going to do 6 sessions, and we'll do that over 12 weeks. And each session will be maybe 10 or 12 minutes at the most, with an idea that you must capture in each one of these sessions that I actually do, together with my good friend Andre Urich, who is taping this program and doing all the hard work. I'm doing the easy work. We're hopefully going to get across an idea to you that maybe it'll just make a change in the way you're doing things for the better. But understand this about change and something that I've learned. We've been told for the longest time that if you just think positive, everything is going to work out. And I found out for some people that actually works. For other people, it may not work. I got quite involved in studying something that is starting to enter the mainstream of health, the mainstream, which will be business very, very soon. But that many people are going to catch hold of this idea that's called bio, psycho, social. Those 3 aspects that it takes in treating what is called the human being. Like the body has an impact on the mind, and the mind has an impact on the body. But let me just share these lessons with you. And by the way, one of the things I would like you to have somewhere that we will use in this session, the first one would be good, is to have yourself a goal card. Where you take an idea and you write it on this here little card here with a piece of plastic to protect it. And you carry it with you everywhere you go. And every single day you start your day by reading what's on this here goal card. It will definitely have an influence on the way that you live your life. But again, remember, it's one thing to kind of like think it. It's another thing to act on it. And it is totally another thing to make sure that you're around the right people in a social setting to make it really work. See, one of the things that I've learned from this is when I wrote down on this card what I wanted to achieve. At that time in my life, from a biological point of view, I was in great shape. I was physically very, very sound. From a mental point of view, I had, I guess you could say, a pretty good idea that I fell in love with of what I wanted to do with my life. In fact, I'm doing that particular idea today. Because you see, when it comes to goal setting, here's what you need to understand about goal setting. In the conscious mind is where we organize something called thought. And as we start and we organize thought, and remember what thought fights every day, it fights your feelings. Your feelings that may say to you, I'd never be able to do that, or why can't things work out for me? That's your feelings, that feedback that you're getting. But you got to learn to discipline what is called your thought. And as you discipline your thought, you develop that image, that picture, that idea of what you would like your life to be about. So on a conscious level, we organize our goal. On what is called a subconscious mind is we experience, we feel what is called that goal, the achievement of that goal. And then on a physical level, what we actually do is we act on that goal. We organize our activities in a way to achieve that goal. See, keep this thing in mind and never, ever forget it. Success has a partner. And most of the time, what we do is we don't invite the partner into what is called success. And the partner of success is called activity. It's called action. It's called getting ourselves going. It's kind of like my friend here, Andre, who's doing this program here, helping me out so much here. He's from Slovenia. And I haven't told him this, but I've noticed an amazing change in his voice, in how he looks, how he sounds, and how he feels. I've noticed amazing change. And only one thing caused it, which I'm not going to tell you that. But one thing caused that change in his life. So I want you to consider this way. The one thing that we need if we're going to do anything is we need a picture. And I'm going to show you an example of a picture. Like, just take a look at this and tell me what it is. Tell me what it is you see. I mean, Andre, you can give me a signal there. Should it go up or should it go down? You know, that's the picture.
That's perfect. No, go back. Go back.
Take this picture here. What everybody tells me is that it's a skull. Well, the truth is, it's not a skull. What it is a beautiful lady looking into a mirror. This big white thing is the mirror, and down below are all her little perfumes and things like that. Well, now that you've seen that, the next time you'll see exactly the lady in the mirror, no matter how far away this is. It's kind of like, in a number of seminars I would take a newspaper and I'd hold it up the center of the room and I'd say, tell me what the headlines read, and nobody could tell me. And then as I brought it closer where they could all see it, they'd all tell me what the headline was. Now, as I took it to the back of the room, they could all read the headline. What was reading the headline? What was reading it is their mind. It wasn't their eyes anymore that was seeing it, because we don't see with our eyes. We see with our mind. That's what we need to understand. We see with our mind. Now think about this for just a moment. We don't see the goals with our eyes. We can see the goal. We can write it down. We can put it on the card. We can read it to ourselves. We can see it. But you have to be able to see the goal with your mind if you want to achieve it. And this picture I'm going to talk about here, this is the way you have to see you and your life, and the pictures, the images, the thoughts that you have to actually make it work. So think about it this way. Here's a picture of what is called you. And it is the age-old advice inscribed over the Ark of Apollo at Delphi, where it said, man, know thyself. Woman, know thyself. Child, know thyself, whatever. But we're talking about that age-old advice of know thyself. Like, who are you? If you had to tell me or answer the question, who are you, what would you tell me? Well, you'd give me your name. Or you may say, and I would say, well, be a little bit more explicit. You may say something like, well, I'm a man, or I'm a woman, or I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a spouse, or whatever. That's not who you are. What you see, and then if I were to ask you, would you say that you are a physical creature? Like, you've never gone to a doctor and said body sore or body sick or headache. You said my body, my head, my hand, whatever. So who is it you're talking about? This body is a place that you and I actually live. This is where we live, in this body. When you take a look in a mirror, what you are looking at is a reflection of billions of cells that are just dancing through your whole body, and that makes up this physical self called body. There's something much more behind and within that body. And I'm going to say that you also have what is called an intellect. In other words, we have intellectual powers like, let's say, reason, intuition, memory, will, imagination, and perception. We have these here tools, and these tools make up what? They make up like how we're going to use what is called this tremendous power called mind. So what are we then? If intellect is something I have, body is a place that I live, then who am I? I am a spiritual creature. I have an intellect, and I live in a physical body. So what? What do I do now? How do I use that? I put a picture here. We refer to that as the stick person. That was created by a man in San Antonio, California, many, many years ago. And we've been using it ever since, and with great impact on the lives of people. See, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Understanding this picture is worth $1 million financially. In terms of health, it's worth even more. In terms of happiness, it's worth even more, because look at, when you look at what is called your results, I'm going to ask you to take a look at your results in your health, in your happiness, and in your wealth. I'm going to ask you to do that. See, consider this for a moment. When you look at this word called health, you know, the number of people who are healthy today, it seems It seems to be, a great number. And I know just recently, I went through, I believe, 7 doctors in about a 7-month period of doctors trying to find out why I was losing my blood. Well, none of them found out what it is, but they found a way to kind of treat it for me to keep on taking iron pills or something of that nature. Now, I know there's a whole lot more behind that. And hopefully one day we're going to find out a whole lot about it. But let me tell you something very interesting. This one doctor that I went to see, which was the last guy I went to see, I walked into his office and here's what he said to me. He said, "John, this is like after we had a conversation of about 10 minutes, he said, you are not sick. I can tell by your energy, the way you walk, the way you talk, everything about you, you are not sick." He's the guy I really wanted to talk with. In fact, when I went back to see my family doctor, he received a letter from this here particular doctor who said this. He said, "Thanks for sending me John Kanary as a patient." I thought, nobody has ever done that for me before. But it was interesting how he looked at, he was looking at the whole picture here. And that whole picture kind of revealed so much more to me. And now I feel as good as I've ever felt. Interesting. But he could see that. He knew that right away. Wouldn't you say that's the kind of a doctor that you'd want to sit down with? I'm sure. Well, let's see if we can get into this because I don't want to take too much more of your time. I want you to take this big circle you're looking at and let it represent your mind. And the mind operates in 2 parts. One is conscious and the other one is subconscious. And this here is the body that you and I live in. Now, on a conscious level, we have these things called sensory factors: sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. There are sensory factors that we use to gather information and take it into the conscious mind, where we then can make decisions, where we can then make choices. So what we do as we start to think, what we do is we start to bring thought into our conscious mind. And out of thought, we start to develop a picture, a concept, or an idea on the screen of our conscious mind. It's where we have that God-given ability to make choices, to choose, to accept or to reject, to say yay or nay. We can choose, we can decide on the energy that we're going to allow into our mind. And remember, thought is energy. And we gather that thought on the screen of our conscious mind, and we can look for what we want in this idea. Let's suppose that you've got an idea. You would like to be very successful, whatever that means to you. And we can impregnate that with a positive idea, or we can impregnate that idea with a negative idea. That's whichever one we want to use. We can choose. We can choose this side, or we can choose this side. Now, what happens to that idea once we choose it? Do you know there's a side of us that I referred to earlier as the subconscious mind? And the subconscious mind is in every single fiber of our being. It's everywhere within us, everywhere. And when it comes to the subconscious mind, it has no ability to reject an idea. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish. It does not know the difference in big or small. It doesn't know the difference in little or a whole lot. It doesn't know the difference in good and bad, health, illness. It doesn't know. Your subconscious mind operates in such a way that it just takes the idea that you impress in it, and you impress that idea then sets up something called a feeling, or what is better known as a vibration. And that vibration is going to kind of reach out, like think about it this way. Your vibration is the message that is being sent and connected with everything of a like nature all around you. Think about this for a moment. Your vibration is the message that we send to this world around us, to everything in this world, and it will travel until it connects with something of a like nature. Your expectation at that point is what starts to bring this vibration, this thing back into your life. Don't forget that. We hear so much today about the law of attraction. Well, the law of attraction is simply the subconscious mind and the conscious mind that are in harmony with a particular idea of energy that we consistently send out and then set up a vibration of attraction to move back towards us into our lives. But remember one part of this that when you heard that may be missing. See, there's people that sit at home when they hear about or read about or study about the law of vibration and attraction, and the first thing they do, they think they just sit in a rocking chair and they just going to kind of like hold a picture in their mind, and that idea is going to become their reality. Sorry. I said that success has a partner, and that partner is called action. It's called activity. And I said earlier that goals has what? Two parts. One is the conscious part where we take thought and organize thought into a picture. That's the goal setting part of our life. Goal achieving is where we take and we organize a set of actions that we act on, and then we bring it back to see whether or not it's getting us anywhere, and then we can change the activity, improve the activity, whatever we want to do. But it's action and reaction are equal and opposite. Action is the picture we develop on the screen of our mind, and action is how we organize those activities on a physical level to put into practice in our lives every day. So let's think about this. What is it you want? What is the goal you would like to set? Do you want to send me like an email and I'll send you the goal card, but send me an email to jk@johnkanary.com. That's JK, like junior kindergarten, @johnkanary.com. So think about this for a minute now. I know what it is that I want. I'm going to get focused on this picture. And remember this, for anything to actually come into your life, the idea to manifest in your life, it must be focused, it must be dedicated, and it must be disciplined. So when you use those three things, focused, dedicated, disciplined, that idea is going to receive the energy and the direction that is necessary to manifest, to become a reality in your life. So remember, the subconscious has no ability to reject an idea, none. It does not distinguish in big or small, none of that. Doesn't matter what religion, what race, what creed, doesn't matter. Although a lot of people think so, but it doesn't. So as I start to kind of continue to act on that idea, I continue to hold true to that idea. I hold that picture, that image, and I link these two things up, action and thought, and I link them together. In a short period of time, you're going to see some things begin to shift just a little bit. The kind of people that may come into your life, the kind of ideas that start to pop into your mind, everything begins to change for that idea to become your reality. So remember this. Mr. Earl Nightingale must have told me this every single day for a long time. I would turn on this program into my car. Matter of fact, sorry to do this, but let me show you. This here is a set of tapes that I made based on Mr. Nightingale and everything that he taught me. These are tapes. Some people look at this and say, what the hell is that? Yeah, it's way back. Well, this is a program I made called Decide, Believe, and Begin. I don't make that anymore. I make it in CDs and MP3s, but not that one. But think about this for a moment. I hear him say this every day, that attitude, he would say, is our thoughts, is our feelings, and our actions. And the thoughts, feelings, and actions, he said, that we kind of express, that we kind of send out into that world that we live in, are the only things that can return to visit upon us in the form of thoughts, feelings, and actions. However you send that out is exactly how it will be returned. So put this to work. Pick a goal of something you're going to work on just for the next 2 weeks, and we will give you another message approximately 2 weeks from now. You watch for it, you will see it. And over the course of the 12 weeks, I guarantee you're going to see a neat change. In fact, we may do, after the third program, maybe we'll take a little bit more space, maybe even take a month and give you some action ideas to carry out for that month, and then come back in for the last 3 right after that. So take some time, sit down with a little notepad, write down the things the dynamic ideas that you would like to see appear in your life. And then I'll be back in our next message to work with you on those dynamic ideas. Okay? Thank you very much. John Kanary, wishing you and yours the very best of everything. Bye-bye.